Okay, so we're continuing with our Women of the Bible, and this morning we're going to look at two women who you have to see together. You can't talk about one without the other. So we're looking at Ruth this morning, and Naomi, who was Ruth's mother-in-law. Ruth is one of the books in the Bible that's, I think there's only two books in the Bible dedicated to women, and Ruth is one of them. It's only 4 chapters long, so we've tried to condense the whole story down into a page and a half. So if it seems a little bit like it doesn't quite make sense, it's because we've tried to make it a little bit abbreviated. So this is an abbreviated version of the book of Ruth that we're going to read this morning. Elimelech, Naomi's husband, died, and she was left with her 2 sons. They married Moabite women, one named Orpah and the other Ruth. After they had lived there about 10 years, both Mahlon and Chilion also died, and Naomi was left without her 2 sons and her husband. Then Naomi said to her daughters-in-law, "Go back, each of you, to your mother's home. May the Lord show you kindness, as you have shown kindness to your dead husbands and to me." But Ruth replied, "Don't urge me to leave you or to turn back from you. Where you go, I will go, and where you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people, and your God, my God." So the 2 women went on until they came to Bethlehem. When they arrived in Bethlehem, the whole town was stirred because of them, and the women exclaimed, "Can this be Naomi?" "Don't call me Naomi," she told them. "Call me Mara, because the Almighty has made my life very bitter. I went away full, but the Lord has brought me back empty." Now Naomi had a relative on her husband's side, a man of standing from the clan of Elimelech, whose name was Boaz. And Ruth the Moabite said to Naomi, "Let me go to the fields and pick up the leftover grain behind anyone in whose eyes I find favor." Boaz asked the overseer of his harvesters, "Who does that young woman belong to?" The overseer replied, "She is the Moabite who came back from Moab with Naomi." So Boaz said to Ruth, "My daughter, listen to me. Don't go and glean in another field, and don't go away from here. Stay here with the women who work for me." "The Lord bless him," Naomi said to her daughter-in-law. "That man is our close relative. He is one of our guardian redeemers." And then the story continues. When Boaz had finished eating and drinking and was in good spirits, he went over to lie down at the far end of the grain pile. Ruth approached quietly, uncovered his feet, and lay down. In the middle of the night, something startled the man. He turned, and there was a woman lying at his feet. "Who are you?" he asked. "I am your servant Ruth," she said. "Spread the corner of your garment over me, since you are a guardian redeemer of our family." "The Lord bless you, my daughter," he replied. "This kindness is greater than that which you showed earlier. You have not run after the younger men, whether rich or poor." Then Boaz announced to the elders and to all the people, "Today you are witnesses that I have bought from Naomi all the property of Elimelech, Chilion, and Mahlon. I have also acquired Ruth the Moabite, Mahlon's widow, as my wife, in order to maintain the name of the dead with his property, so that his name will not disappear from among his family or from his hometown." So Boaz took Ruth, and she became his wife. When he made love to her, the Lord enabled her to conceive, and she gave birth to a son, and they named him Obed. Then Naomi took the child in her arms and cared for him. Obed was the father of Jesse, the father of David. So the book of Ruth is a big message in a short 4-chapter story. It shows how God cares about the seemingly inconsequential stories of everyday people. All the characters face challenges with which we might be familiar. Death of a loved one, moving home, financial instability, family responsibilities, despair. And find that God is weaving a story of redemption out of all of the details. The book of Ruth encourages us to view our everyday lives as part of God's bigger plan for our lives and for the world. The two women are inseparable, and we can't talk about Ruth without looking at the life of Naomi too. The book may be dedicated to Ruth, but it was written from Naomi's point of view. Every event related back to her husband's and her son's deaths, her daughters-in-law, her return to Bethlehem, her God, her relative Boaz, her land to sell, her despondency, and eventually her joy at the birth of her grandson. Naomi has been compared to a female Job. She lost everything: her home, her husband, her sons, and her livelihood. Women in those days relied so heavily on the male members of the family to provide for them, and they rarely had any means of support themselves. Naomi cried out in her grief and suffered despair, but later realized that although she'd lost all the men of the family, God had given her Ruth to love her, care, and provide for her. Ruth embodied sacrificial love. She could easily have walked away from Naomi and found a new husband amongst her own people, but instead she stayed to support and care for her mother-in-law, even at the possible cost of her own future happiness. Reading the book of Ruth reminds us that while we may be good at rallying round our families and friends in life's major crises, it's also important to support and encourage them through the day-to-day difficulties and problems. An encouraging word, a phone call, a smile and a greeting, a sympathetic and listening ear, an offer of help, all go a long way to brightening the day of those we meet and those we care for. Ruth's story shows us that God responds to his people's cry. We see him provide for Naomi and Ruth, two widows with little future hope. We learn that he cares for the marginalised and the outcasts of society. He's a loving, faithful, and powerful God who never fails to care for his children. God brought joy back to Naomi as she shared in the happiness of Ruth's marriage to Boaz, and then lovingly helped to take care of her grandson, Obed. He took a dark and lonely season for Naomi and Ruth and turned it into joy, love, and prosperity. For those of you who've heard Ian's recent Sunday talk, you will understand the significance of the birth of Obed, the son of Ruth and Boaz. They are all listed, even Ruth, in Matthew chapter 1 in the genealogy of Jesus, as Obed later had a son called Jesse, who was in turn the father of the boy who became King David. Ruth was loyal, caring, honest and faithful, qualities which I'm sure we would all aspire to. Now Matt's found a lovely song, but it's a song just to listen to, and perhaps just steady your hearts and listen as someone sings those very famous words of Ruth that are quite meaningful and poignant. Thank you, Matt.
Do not urge me to leave you or tell